shocked. That's how I felt when I realized where I'd experienced some of the deepest loneliness of my life. Not because I was by myself, because I was surrounded by people. As I've been preparing my recent videos about loneliness, I asked myself, where have I felt this most? One place and related memories came back immediately. The answer surprised me. It wasn't at school, it wasn't at work, it wasn't walking through a shopping mall. It was in a church. Loneliness isn't just about how many people are around you, it's about whether you feel seen, known, and genuinely connected. And strangely enough, the place where I expected to find those things became the place where I felt the most invisible. Now, this isn't a criticism of every church. I've known wonderful people in churches, and many churches genuinely do create strong communities. This is simply my story. But it has made me wonder something. Have we unintentionally designed some modern churches in ways that make real connection harder? We gather hundreds of people into one room. We sing together, we listen together. Then after an hour or so, everyone heads home. For some people, that's enough. But for others, it's possible to attend week after week, month after month, even year after year, and never really be known. And some churches offer the chance to have a cup of tea or coffee after the service, but people with children, young children, can often find it hard to stay for that. And then sometimes you can sit alone in the cafe, surrounded by noise, but not really connecting. It makes me wonder whether we've become very good at organising gatherings, but not always as good at building relationships. And whether listening together is really what Jesus meant by church and gathering together. Jesus invested deeply in 12 people. He shared meals, he walked with them, he asked questions, he listened, he lived life alongside them. I'm not pretending to have all the answers, I'm simply asking the question. Could some of the loneliness people experience today exist, not because churches don't care, but because the way we've structured church life doesn't naturally create the kind of deep relationships people are longing for? This experience taught me something important about loneliness that I think applies far beyond churches. I've come to realize that attending something isn't the same as belonging to it. You can attend a church, a workplace, a club, or even a family gathering and still feel like nobody really knows you. Belonging happens when people know your story, notice when you're missing, ask how you're really doing, and make room for you in their lives. Of course, there are different levels of belonging and community. Sometimes people just saying hello and asking how you are going, or asking a question or two about your week or family, shows they care or are interested. This doesn't mean you are going to be their lifelong friend. I found being part of a group where interaction through a game is part of the reason for the gathering, such as playing contact bridge or bowls, ensures you will speak to many people and won't leave the room or building having talked to no one. And believe me, surprisingly, that happened to both me and my husband many times in a church we attended for decades. I don't think that is because the organisation was particularly flawed or the people were unfriendly. I think it was for several reasons. There were sometimes too many people there. The service was spectator-based and not aiming for participation, and people had their friends there already and so concentrated on them. The church community came and went, and after many years of being regulars, we occasionally had someone comparatively new come up to us and ask if we were new. I got to the stage where I would rather stay at home and listen to a church service on podcast or on YouTube rather than sit amongst people as a spectator and not really connect at all. It was almost like being at a concert or a university hall lecture rather than an intimate gathering of believers like in Jesus' day. So why is being physically surrounded by people often not enough? I guess it's like walking down a busy street. The pavements are often packed with people and you have to dodge other pedestrians. But when you get home, you don't think, wow, that was great. I was around all those wonderful people. I actually think only being surrounded by people like that leaves you feeling hollow. And I think that is because you know you're missing out on more. Humans are mysterious, unique, and diverse, and you can't really experience or know them without conversation and time. And how can we feel invisible even in communities built around connection? I think it's because those communities, such as the church or even families, are supposed to be built around community, but sometimes, somewhere along the way, the wheels have fallen off. People stop talking, spending time together, communicating and really caring and knowing each other. Of course, you can be in a family or church or other group, and these things can happen and happen well. But why do some people slip through the cracks? I think the answer to that question is busyness. Insecurity, hey, I don't know what to say to them. They won't like me. I'll make a fool of myself. I've got to get to, I'm so busy. How can we become the person who notices someone sitting alone and does something about it? It's actually not that hard. Get less busy and rushed. Look around you, take a deep breath, and go up to someone sitting alone or looking lonely and say hi. Ask them how their day is going and be prepared for any answer. Ask them an open-ended question such as, what did you think of the service? Not how did you enjoy the service or did you enjoy the service? Ask a question not loaded with judgment or anticipating an answer. Just a question because you simply want to engage with them and care about their opinion. Notice when someone is not at your club for a while and ring them up. My next point or question is, what actually creates genuine belonging? Knowing that people have noticed you, want to engage with you, care where you are at, and miss you when you're not there. It's really that simple. And it doesn't mean you're going to be everyone's best friend. But I guarantee you, your club, your church, family, or whatever you're involved in, will be more likely to flourish if people know you care. And that's how true friendship develops, through showing you care and that you're interested. And both people reciprocating and keeping in touch. As we're discovering in my current video series, which is turning out to be a deep dive into loneliness and what can be done about it, it's clear loneliness can exist anywhere, but so fortunately can compassion and genuine connection. You know, I made a really good friend from just offering to do a Bible study with a new person to town several years ago. I was actually quite lonely at the time myself, as a young mother. I had no expectations, just wanted to help out, and I benefited in the end as well. So I challenge you, reach out to someone new, someone feeling a bit lonely, even if you are busy. Do what you can and introduce these people to clubs or other people who they can also connect to. Do you identify with anything I have shared today? Where have you felt the most lonely? And where and how have you found connection? I'd really like to know. And have you ever tried being one of those people who reach out to people looking awkward at a church or a club with no one to talk to? If you're watching this and you've experienced loneliness in church, I want you to know you aren't the only one. Hey, thanks for listening and watching. Next week, I'm planning to look at the different layers of community and connection. If you find my content valuable, please like and share and consider subscribing. Have a great day and be friendly. See you next week.